I just got out of seeing the early showing of The GOAT, produced by Stephen Curry. And honestly, for an animated film, this was actually pretty fun. At the same time, it caught me off guard with how heartfelt it is. So I saw The GOAT. Let's talk about it. So to rephrase, the movie's called GOAT, not The GOAT. This isn't like Batman and the Batman. But on the surface of this film, you would think that this movie is only about someone that's trying to be the next GOAT. But it gets deeper than that. There's a lot more depth in this, and that honestly is what makes this work. I was surprised going into this and just seeing how deep it gets. It's not just about chasing the title of the GOAT. It's about identity, self-worth, and actually figuring out what the title really means. There's a real life lesson baked into this story, but it never actually feels preachy. It actually comes natural as you progressively learn more about the main character, which is why the emotional moments, when they do happen, they hit hard. And I have to talk about the main character and the GOAT that he looks up to. Will and Jet are incredible, and they're more incredible together. To the vibes, to the dialogue, their chemistry is what really connects this story well. Each conversation they have feels extremely natural, grounded, and it has a lot of funny moments that actually land. And they really are the core soul of this movie. And the world building is honestly engaging in this film. This animal world feels actually lived in, colorful, and very vibrant. And it's full of so much personality. The animation style is from the people that made K-pop Demon Slayer, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, and Into the Spider-Verse. And with that being said, the animation is very expressive, emotional, and each movement actually feels so crisp and nice when seeing this movie. I can't wait to see this again, but I'm gonna see this in 3D. The character designs are pretty nice too, and each character has their own personality on top of whichever animal you see them as. They do have a lot of that animal trait in this film, which does come off very funny and not corny or overused. And one thing I couldn't help noticing is that the director of this film really does like Stranger Things, because when you watch this movie, you can hear 3 different voice actors from Stranger Things, and you guys can comment below and tell me which actors you heard in this film on the side of Lucas from Stranger Things being the main character. And on top of that, each character gets their own character development. They have enough screen time fleshed out between every person on this basketball team to actually show and flesh out these characters and let them have their own moments. And a lot of these characters are different and funny in their own ways too, and they don't hold back from showing you that. And if I really had to describe this movie, it feels like there's a Space Jam playoff going on, but in the Zootopia universe. Sports chaos, big energy, but in a fully built out animal world. And I know that there's a 2026 trend going on where we're going 10 years in the past to talk about 2016 being such a great year. This movie feels like it falls in the category of a 2016 film, with how it's written, how it's played out, with how the characters interact, and just everything. This feels very old-fashioned, going back to Zootopia 1. And honestly, I enjoyed Zootopia for everything that it was, and I enjoyed the sequel, by the way. This movie was very colorful, very cool, and extremely funny. I couldn't stop smiling. It's unapologetically hilarious, and it's fun. But when there's good, there's bad, and we're gonna talk about that. My only issue with this film is that it feels completely stuffed. There's so much going on that at times the main character doesn't really get the limelight that he deserves. He gets pushed to the side for a little bit. I understand that there's more world building and more other characters to actually flesh out, but at sometimes you kind of forget who's the main character in this film because there's so much happening. And it's very fast paced too. For those that like a slower paced type movie, this may not be for you, but if you're into just non-stop colorful vibes with a beautiful story, this may be for you too. But in all honesty, I just wish that this movie let the core story breathe more. It could have been longer, and hopefully we do get a sequel to flesh out more, but we shall see. I'll add one quick little fun fact before I get to my rating for this. You remember the Marlon Wayne movie called Him that came out last year? That was actually supposed to be called The GOAT, but Sony got to it first, you know, copyrights and stuff, so they claimed the title. If you guys are curious about that review, I have the review for Him out on my channel right now, actually talking about that before this film even dropped. And another thing that's funny about that is that both of those movies actually do touch upon the same topic of someone looking up to their idol and training very hard to become the GOAT and to become who they see on TV and figuring out what greatness actually means. They both obviously approach the idea very differently, but the message is still there. But for me, Sony's GOAT, I give this a solid with snacks. very enjoyable. Kids are gonna absolutely love this movie, and parents are gonna actually wanna see it more than once. But if you guys saw this movie already, what did you guys think about it? If you guys haven't saw this movie already, come back when you guys see it and tell me what you guys thought about it. And I do have to ask a question, since Caleb, aka Lucas from Stranger Things, is voicing the GOAT from the producers of Into the Spider-Verse. Would you guys want to see Caleb as Miles Morales in the live action MCU? But if you like my vibe, comment below, like and subscribe. I'm James Hancock, signing off.